How y'all doing, fam? Oh, Lord. Listen, let's get it. Come on in the room. Let's get it. Interesting. We get ready to get into it. Mm, Thank you. Let's get it. Get it. We're trying to. I'm trying to. Dr. Latoya. The theme for today is really up for discussion because I'm excited. I'm trying to Wayne. I kind of want to share what I was reading last night. Um, but that could be my excitement. So I'm kind of battling between this book that I picked up last night about astrology of the moon. Let me flip my camera so y'all can see. Astrology of the moon, or I'm looking at practicing the present. So it's up for grabs, but my excitement is leading me towards astrology of the moon because it's something that I become really, really passionate about. So, fam, welcome to our live metaphysical Bible study. How y'all feeling? Give me two feeling words. How you feeling in your heart, in your mind, in your soul? Like I'm looking at myself and I'm all giddy because the information that is available to us right now is so exciting. What's up, Victor Plump? KK601. And grateful. Okay. So it sounds like to me, Bree, that's giving. It hurt me to let it go, but I'm grateful that I saw the light and now I can move forward. That's what it's giving. Listen, two things can be true at the same time. You hear me? Listen, joyful and courageous. I love that. Joyful and courageous. Well, fam, we are here. We are here. And if you're new here for the first time, please let me know where you're tuning in from. Thank you for liking and sharing this live. Sharing this live because whatever we get out this conversation is going to be awesome. I'm excited because I got my book in that I was telling you guys about astrology of the moon. And I know there might be people watching elsewhere that are like, "Ooh, Titus is into astrology." Yes, Titus is into astrology because astrology has helped me process life and process it in a way that has given me the gift to be me. And the way that it was given to us in my upbringing was that it was demonic or that it was evil. And I was even reading online today, like before I went live, how uh, people have people are taking astrology and they're tying it to scripture in a way that people are conjuring up spirits. And everybody has their own way of viewing it, and I'm gonna let their perception be their perception. But for me, astrology has really been a way that I've been able to welcome in certain seasons, have certain conversations, be okay with releasing and letting go. Not only astrology, but numerology as well. All right. But with astrology, one of the things, is it okay if we have this discussion, or do y'all want to go into practicing the presence? What y'all want to do? Practicing the presence is about, more so about getting in stillness, getting in relationship with God. It's definitely, it's more about getting to the practice. You have a hard time letting go. Listen, astrology good. Okay, cool. Astrology good. Cool, 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 cool. Oh, I love that, Dr. Toya. Come on. Come on. I love this stuff because to me this is what connects us to humanity. It connects us that we're not separate, but we are one. We are one, having different experiences. You hear me? And so in this awareness, I've been really trying to figure out how do we start this conversation, to really, I think if anything, it's really for me to be in full transparency, because I do know that I have a lot of Christian followers because I came out of the church. And a lot of my following know me as the songwriter, the singer, the prophetic psalmist, and my evolution has not, doesn't take away from any of that, because I'm still gifted to do those things all at the same time. Listen, thank you. Listen, Dr. Edwards, we gotta set up a live so we can have this conversation. We gotta have this greetings. We gotta set up this conversation to have this, because this is what I apply in my coaching sessions. What is astrology bringing in? Because the astrology, the tarot, the numerology help us to see things that are hidden. Come on, absolutely. And to your point, Dr. Edwards, when we have this understanding that there are the things that were in our lineage that our ancestors would have been raised upon, were hidden from us, from a lot of colored people, if I could say it that way. Okay, without TikTok saying that we're saying something inappropriate. Right? We love you, TikTok. We really do. But in this space of unlearning to learn again, there's been so many awarenesses that I have had about me. I'm getting excited because when I was in Christendom, I only knew me to a certain degree. I only knew me as a worship leader and the person that had a mic in their hand. The person that knew how to shift atmospheres, not arrogantly, but it's a gift. It's a gift. And then when I left, not left, because I didn't leave God, okay? If anything, spirituality, and it has opened me up to knowing God in a different magnetic type of way, right? But when I shifted, I was legit lost. Who am I talking to? Somebody. I want to testify. I'm gonna tell my own story. I was lost because I didn't know me. I didn't know who I was outside of church. I didn't know me outside of choir rehearsal, Bible study, and living life. I wasn't really living life. I was just going through the motions because I was just a church boy. Come on, absolutely. That's a reason. Come on, for those that are following elsewhere, Dr. Edwards said music and sound healing is an African indigenous practice, and there's a reason why music is in the church. Absolutely. Listen, and so in this space that I have evolved, it's been because of astrology and numerology. You don't really get time to know yourself in church. Come on. And this is not to say, I want to put this disclaimer out. This is not to tell you not to go to church, because that might be your fancy. I still lead worship in church because I understand that people are where they are. But a lot of times, for what I've experienced, church leaves you in this space of having a void because you're relying everything. Okay, if I can say it like this, no offense to anybody, we have been taught to rely how do I want to say it, Spirit? We have been taught to be codependent on our relationship with God and taking the power from us actually walking in our divinity with the God in us. We've been taught, okay, go pray about it. Okay, I pray about it, but what do I do with the information I'm receiving? Come on, somebody. What do I do with these emotions that I'm having as I'm navigating prayer? Come on, somebody. This is my, I feel like, what do I do after I prayed about it and I still don't have a resolution? What do I do with everything that's coming up for me? Because I can pray about it, but it doesn't address the inner trauma. It doesn't always address the actions that I need to take to progress me through what I've been experiencing. Come on, I was taught to pray about it, but not heal from it. Come on. Because we were taught a codependency, which led to having toxicity in all our other relationships. Listen, absolutely. The unpack, we are supposed to know that God has given us all the. Absolutely, Penny. And those that are, like, I'm reading stuff on TikTok, so those that want to come on TikTok, you can. Right? And we're supposed to be taught how to tap into the God within ourselves. And astrology has assisted and supported me on how to be okay with being emotional, on how to be okay with how I process, on how to be okay with knowing what I need in a relationship so that I'm not grasping on and holding on to relationships that don't actually work for me. Because I'm trying to fill a void, not understanding that that person may not be aligned with my need and my desire. Come on. And this is where I'm so passionate about being as a life coach, as a spiritual advisor to some, is because in order to progress forward, you have to be able to be self-aware and be self-aware to the point to where you are aware how you feel. And not only are you aware how you feel, but you are okay with processing and moving through your emotions without putting them on the block and say, you know, some things are that God is going to take care of. Some things, yes. But those other things that God is giving in your camp to resolve, you got to do that work. You gotta do the work. You gotta have the hard conversations. You gotta be able to not project. You gotta be able to own what you feel. At the same time, grow to a maturity level to where you can also hold somebody else for where they are without judging them. You hear what I'm saying? So yes, you pray, but what are the instructions that you have through prayer? And are you applying what you are hearing? Or are you so traumatized that you're only moving by way of what you experienced in the past? Oh my goodness. But this stuff excites me. Okay, so I'm just telling y'all what astrology has done for me. Not using it as a tool to conjure up spirits and whatever people told you about astrology. The foolery. Well, it's true for them. Okay, I want to speak to the people because two things can be true at the same time, even if your truth is keeping you into a place of delusion. Because your truth could be so true that it's allowing you to experience something that's not really real. Oh my, but that's a whole unpacking because you created something in your thinking, and because you're such a powerful being, now you're creating activity in this physical world. Oh my, oh my, but it's true because you're such a powerful being that you made it a reality. Okay, okay. But yes, I'm talking because this stuff has really, 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 really got me. Listen, you only rely, and here's the thing, Julia Rose, you come on, we in it. Hello, everybody. Let me introduce myself for those. I don't want to be rude to those that are coming in. Hey, my name is Titus Glenn. I'm a singer, songwriter, sound healer, and spiritual life coach. And this is our metaphysical Bible study where we just have these good discussions. Okay, this still applicable, if we take scripture, you want to bring scripture in. God created the heavens and the earth, and then it says in Genesis that he created the heavens as a signs of the times. Woo, come on. God created the heavens and earth to give us the signs of the times, right? And back 6,000 years ago, they didn't have the Bible, but yet we've been given the Bible, the one and only book that we told that we have to glean from. Make it make sense. Okay, but that's something else. Let me not get into that. To them, yes, it's true, because like you said in church, you only rely on the word of God. Listen, we only rely on this word of God, and this word of God is only the Bible. But what about all these other ancient texts that predates the Bible? Can we talk about that? No, we can't talk about that because we've been conditioned. We've been conditioned to only believe what we've been given and not to ask any other questions. Sheesh. Okay, I'm getting excited. So, in this conversation that we're having, thank you for the gift. I'm offering an opportunity for you to think and be open to explore what works for you. Come on. I'm not telling you to take my word for it, because my word for you may not be accurate to you, because it may not be for your healing. But I am offering you the opportunity to take it and see if it works for you. And if y'all saying something, you may have to reword, because TikTok could be monitoring, so you may have to reword what you're saying. Okay? So, I done got so excited because this legit stuff lights me up. It lights me up because I know it has helped me. It has helped me navigate my year, navigate where to set my intentions, where to put my energy. If people are coming into my space, it has allowed me to be open to say, okay, this is happening. What am I supposed to be learning? I welcome this healing, because sometimes there could be things that are happening that you're running away from that you actually should be walking and walking through for your advancement and for your growth. But if you're not aware that it's possible, then you will continue to run from things that are really being pushed in your path so that you can evolve and advance to the next space. Am I making sense, somebody? All right. I'm trying to figure out how do we get into it. Okay, so if you don't know anything about astrology, astrology is basically the study of the stars. And when you get into the space of consciousness, there's an understanding that the heavens depict who you are. They offer an awareness of who you are. Right? And one of the things that this book says, that I'm going to, if I tried to highlight as much as I could, so that it's, she said something in here that really broke down astrology, because it's not about using it to predict the future. This is not what I'm using it for. This is about understanding of self. The name of the book is Astrology of the Moon by Amy Herring. Let me see if I can find. I'm gonna go through, and I want to read what I highlighted, okay? Because it was so, oh my goodness. So when we talk about astrology, I do want to say this. A lot of times people only go by their sun sign, right? And your sun sign is really who you are innately, okay? That's who you are in your inner being. Your rising sign or your descending sign is what people see. And the way Amy said it, I'll go back and reword it. But the way that she said it, picture this: that astrology overall is your house. It's just who you are, or a general synopsis of who you are. Okay, who you get to be in this body, right? But when you look at this house, all right, the door is your rising sign. And a lot of people don't even know their rising sign, because your rising sign is what people see. So when people see you, right, they don't really see you. They only see what you portray. So my rising sign is an Aries. Aries give this fire, this passion. So that's what you're seeing right now, right? This drive, this content that's created. That's what you're seeing. But I am an Aquarius, which is my sun sign, and as an Aquarius, a lot of times, I'm in my head trying to process what's really happening. You see that? I'm using myself as an example. An example. Mine is Gemini. My sun is Cancer. That's what's up. See, listen, and I that reads to me. People see your emotions because Cancer reads emotions, right? And so they might come across as though you're being overly dramatic. This is just an observation. This is what I would say. You would like the Cancer sign is being overly dramatic or very highly emotional, but innately you're actually balancing the two with that Gemini, with the two faces. That's what that's giving. Like you're like so yes. So yeah. So this is why Libra sign, how do you figure out our signs? My twin was teaching me this before she you have to know your date of birth. You have to know your date of birth. Ooh, you hide your emotions. Is your sun sign is Taurus? Well, okay. So we'll get into it because I love these conversations. I love these conversations. Okay, because to know astrology, to look into astrology from a personal development standpoint, is how you become self-aware and own who you are. Absolutely. Okay. But what I like about so we're looking at a house, right? All right, and we're learning together. Okay, I know stuff, but I'm still learning, and I'm just here to share the information of what I know, what I intuitively feel and see, and this is what I offer in my coaching services. Okay, because it helps you unpack so that you're not. It helps you unpack. It helps you to see so that when things happen in your life, you can face them. You can face them and you can see how you show up so that if it keeps on happening, you can make a different choice. But if you don't see what's happening, you innately continue to make the same choices. Prime example, I had a conversation. I had a difficult conversation yesterday with a dear person. And if I hadn't been doing this work to see how I show up, I would have been highly offended about the things that they said. But the conversation allowed me to see myself, not be offended, and stick in the conversation. Okay? CoStar is a good app. CoStar, there is Patterns is a good one. CoStar Patterns. Those are definitely two good ones. And we're not using it to predict the future. I want to say that this is a personal development tool. You take from it what you can't not what you haven't been seeing. What hits home for you. Okay? So let me go back to the when we're looking at this house, the rising sign. Yes, co-star is really good. The rising sign is your door. Okay. The sun sign is your living room or where you invite people in to entertain. But then the moon sign is your bedroom, the most intimate part of who you are. This book talks about how that sign is also can be attached to your heart. Okay? So again, for those that are watching, we're using this as a personal development tool, not to conjure up spirits, whatever you've been told. That's not what this space is for. God himself used astrology to tell us the signs of the times. Tell us the signs of the times. And what did she say? I gotta find what she said. Here we go. I found it. Thank you, Spirit. Here we go. This is the line that I was like, this is finna be a good read. She says, astrology's best use is not categorizing or classifying, but direction and prescription. Come on, somebody. I'm not telling you the future, right? I'm giving you direction as to where it could go and how to make your stance in what's happening. I'm going to say it again. Astrology's best use is not categorizing or classifying, but direction and prescription. Our entire understanding of our chart opens up when we look at it not from perspective of what we already are, but what we are becoming. Oh my. Because we're constantly evolving. We're constantly moving. And if we look at the chart, and why does this feel like it's becoming a sermon? Do I feel preachery to y'all? I feel like I'm sounding a little preachery in this. It's the excitement, y'all. It really is the excitement. Okay? Let's say that one more time. Astrology's best use is not categorizing or classifying, but direction and prescription. Our entire understanding of our chart opens up when we look at it not from perspective of what we already are, but what we are becoming. Okay, cool. As long as y'all okay. So when we're looking at our chart, it's to invite us into this idea that this is where we're headed. And it invites us into this idea that yes, we can change and things are changing. And this is how I stand in the change. What's up? Good morning. This is how I stand in the transition of what life is throwing at me. Listen, this is how I stand. These are the lessons I could be learning. So I don't run, because to run is to negate the opportunity to heal and grow. Woo! To run is to negate the opportunity to heal and to grow. Oh, thank you, fam. And what astrology invites us into is but direction and prescription. The chart, our prescription, suggestions for how to live a more fulfilling life. Oh, the moon in Capricorn. Listen, that moon in Capricorn gives balance, gives a grounding. Yes, the earth sign Capricorn, moon grounding. So you need that stability. You need somebody that feels like home. That's what that's given to me. But I wonder in if the person that's with you, if they know how to make you feel safe. Whew, come on. And you need, but the Taurus and the Capricorn is nothing but earth sign. Have you found, but here's the thing. Have you figured out how to make yourself feel safe? Whoa, come on. Because your relationships are mirroring back to you what you're producing. Oh, that's a whole coaching session. What are you producing in your love language to yourself that invites other people to love you the way that you love? Whew. Oh my goodness. This is where the healing begins. When you begin to know yourself, you now invite other people that you don't have to teach how to love you. Oh my. There's no teaching because you are already giving it to yourself. So you attract people that love you, and those that can't fall off. Oh my. Oh my. Okay? But this is about knowing yourself. So as a Pisces moon, I know I need somebody that knows that there is a balance between the spiritual and the natural for me. And sometimes it gets difficult. And for a Pisces moon, I understand that I need somebody that knows how to emote. Because if you can't emote, it doesn't give me the opportunity to express myself emotionally. Oh my goodness. Okay, but this is about Sun Pisces. Ooh, that moon Aquarius. You in your head, you in your head, you in your head. Listen, I loved how I wanted to be loved, but never taught how I needed to be loved. That's what's up. But then here's the thing. When you understand somebody else's moon sign, you then know how to give them love, not based upon how you receive love, right? Because we innately give love how we give love. But it doesn't benefit the other person because that may not be how they love. But when you know how somebody needs love, then you can give it to them. But here's the breakdown in relationships. A lot of people don't know how they need to be loved. And if they have a feeling of it, they tend to run away from it because they've never been given that love. Woo! Who am I talking? We not even. But this is why I love this teaching because it's about tapping in to what are your core emotional needs. What are your core emotional needs, and can you give it to yourself first before you demand it or request it from somebody else? Ooh, oh my goodness! And this is why we're dealing with the moon. Because the moon is tied to your emotions. It's tied to your emotional, spiritual, intuitive well being. So when you know this, you ain't going to give people an opportunity to be in your space when you know intuitively already this don't work. But when you're not tapped into your intuitiveness, you tend to hold on to relationships that ain't going to work for the sake of having somebody in your space. And this allows you the opportunity to say, okay, this doesn't work for me in this context. So let me shift it over here so I can know exactly if this even is if it's even worth keeping at all. Or do I need to throw the whole thing away? We are reading Astrology of the Moon. Listen, I'm going to give the information. We're going to talk it through. If you need more unpacking, if you need a chart reading, you can inbox me or click on my call you can click on my link for a discovery call, and we could talk about how to partner together to unpack so that you can move forward. We are here for the evolution of our souls. We are here. You are here. I'm here for the evolution of our soul. But if we don't do the work to understand us, how can we understand somebody else? All right. I'm going to run this back one more time because this right here, cool. You cannot teach love. You cannot teach love, but love can be experienced. But here's the thing. This is good, Landell. Like to experience love, you first have to experience yourself. Because innately, this is what I would say. When people are actually experiencing love, they are actually experiencing you being you. Whew. And that right there is sexy. Don't do it to appease me, because that's a turn off. But when you're doing you because this is just how you show up, that is sexy as all get out. Listen, they get to experience you. Absolutely. I'm gonna run this line back, and I'm gonna try to get through some of these nuggets that I highlighted. Okay, and we are again reading Astrology of the Moon. All right, tying it in to personal development. We're tying this into personal development. Nothing woo woo about it. This is scientific studies. This is when you look at Carl Jung, who was a psychologist. He used these theories in his practice because people were having mental blockages and they didn't know how. They didn't know how to get through. So he used astrology to look at the overall picture who they were from their sun sign to their rising sign, right? Because prime example, you could be giving somebody something that you really are not. So they're seeing your rising sign, not really understanding the core of who you are. So when you move differently, they don't understand why you're moving because you've been giving them something else. Oh my. Oh my. Oh my. And so now you're irritated because they don't know how to handle you, right? And it's because you haven't really been showing up as your true self. But that's a whole okay. I'm trying to stay on task. I'm trying to stay on task. Okay. I'm gonna run this back and then we're gonna thank y'all for 5.1 thousand likes. Here we go. Astrology's best use is not categorizing or classifying, but direction and prescription. Our entire understanding of our chart opens up when we look at it not from the perspective of what we really what we already are, but what we are becoming. The chart is our prescription, suggestions for how to live a more fulfilling life. Okay? So when you're looking at your chart, fam, it's an idea for you to be able to explore. All right? Your choices is what makes it. Your choices is what makes it come to life. And this is what I said live in the live earlier. God does not take away your ability to choose. So what are you choosing? Because what you're choosing is generating what you get to experience. Oh my, what you are choosing is generating what you get to experience. I'm gonna say that one more time for somebody that needs to hear. What you are choosing is generating what you are experiencing. And astrology allows you to see what's happening so you can choose something different. Oh my. All right, here's the next thing I highlighted, okay? Astrologically, thank you for the follow. The moon is the symbol for our feelings and our instinctual emotional reactions. I'm going to say that one more time. Astrologically, the moon is the symbol for our feelings and our instinctual emotional reactions. How it's placed in a natal chart can tell us what things we make. How it's placed in a natal chart can tell us what things make us feel happy or sad, what hurts us, and what we need to feel nurtured, safe, and taken care of. I'm going to say that again, all right? Because this is why we're talking about the moon, all right? Especially when we're talking about manifestation and getting into manifestation is all about getting into the feeling of the thing. But I'm starting to notice that oftentimes we can't get into that manifestation feeling because there's other things that we haven't really dealt with, right? In order to get us out of whatever we're feeling to get into that place to where we can manifest. And I'm discovering, even within myself, it's just owning what I feel and be okay with owning what I feel and not judging it. Because if you're judging how you are feeling about whatever it is, right, then that blocks you manifesting. All right? Listen, okay? Let me run this back. Astrologically, the moon is the symbol for our feelings and our instinctual emotional reactions. How it's placed in a natal chart can tell us what things make us feel happy or sad, what hurts us, and what we need to feel nurtured, safe, and taken care of. it can tell us about some of our baseline needs in love to establish a sense of trust and family. So innately, like knowing where I'm not looking forward to this full moon, super moon in Aries. It can be, but I think it's really understanding how do you process emotions, and then giving yourself tools so that you are preparing for it, right? So the idea of the intenseness can subside, right? Especially with the areas giving the fire, giving energy, like based upon your chart, how can you set yourself up for victory? That's just a personal opinion. All right, let's get into this other highlight, okay? Because we're talking about the sun, the moon, the rising, and this is a nugget that she said in here because oftentimes a lot of people just look at the sun, right? The sun is your, when you was born, right? So if you're born between certain time periods or January and March, January you could be a Capricorn or Aquarius. At the end you're Aquarius, right? Early part of February you're Aquarius, and then we get into Pisces, right? That is your sun, right? But then there's a rising sign, and your rising sign is changing more frequently, right? As it's moving. So that's why you can have a lot of people who have the same sun sign, but their personalities are different outwardly, right? Because their rising sign is different. So let's talk about how the sun and the moon are relating to each other in this space. And this I didn't, you see, I done highlighted some stuff because the way she was talking, I was like, this woman is preaching the gospel. Here we go. The sun and moon are actually, hey Beth. The sun and moon are actually joined themselves while they are separate bodies. The moon reflects the light of the sun. Lest I leave you thinking that the sun is the real deal because, we just talk about the sun sign. And the moon is just a pale second in the sun's power. This is what I love what she said. It is the moon's role in reflecting that light that enables us to see at all when the way is dark. Woo! We are reading, Beth, we getting into your stuff. Astrology of the moon. I'll post it so you can go and kind of, we just now getting into it, but I was talking my heart at the beginning. Some stuff you may want to hear or not hear. Okay, so the sun is the real, okay, lest I leave you thinking that the sun is the real deal and the moon is just a pale second to the sun's power. It is the moon's role in reflecting that light that enables us to see at all when the way is dark, just as we must find our way intuitively in situations where reasons alone fail us. Woo! Ain't that good? It was good to me. It was good to me because what I got from that is that understanding your moon is to understand your intuitive nature and be able to tap into your intuitive nature and your heart when logically it doesn't make sense. Oh my. When logically it doesn't make sense, but my senses, we can call it the Holy Ghost, is telling me I need to make this move. Whew. Let me see if I want to read the rest of this. Okay, I want to read the rest of this. I want to read the rest of this because this is going to connect the dots, okay? Let me run this whole passage back because this is about personal development. It's about giving you the tools to trust yourself, okay? The sun and moon are actually joined themselves while they are separate bodies. The sun reflects the light of the sun, lest I leave you thinking that the sun is the real deal and the moon is just a pale second to the sun's power. It is the moon's role in reflecting that light that enables us to see at all when the way is dark. Woo. Just as we must find our way intuitively in situations where reasons alone fail us. Again, there's so many times when we make a reasonable decision. Come on. Again, there's so many times when we make a reasonable decision only to find that our hearts thwarts us in carrying it out. Sometimes we can say this happens because we are weak-willed, but sometimes it is truly because we are discounting our emotions as wrong or inconvenient. Woo! It's true that sometimes we want unhealthy things, but paying attention to the underlying source of the desire, not just the object of our desire, can give us the most important clues to what our heart truly longs for, even if we have to find better choices to get those emotional needs met. Woo. My moon in Gemini. Y'all see that? How are you balancing that? I feel like that Gemini is giving balance. Like you have to figure out how to balance those conflicting ideas. Maybe give here, give there. Beth, if you send me your date of birth, send me your information, Beth, and I will get it for you. Thank you, Bob, for the follow. Woo. Okay. So are we good, fam? Are we good? Again, we are using this as a personal development tool. No, not inbox me, Beth. Inbox me. My sun is Libra. Oh, Libra is the balance. And moon is Gemini. Uh-huh. And that Gemini reads, if Gemini is your moon, I can see you being in your head too. And it might be easier than what you're probably making it harder than it needs to be because you're that Gemini is that air sign and you might be caught up in how you feel versus just being true and being okay with how you feel. It's almost like your thoughts could be taking you or your feelings could be taking you into this overthinking how you feel. That's what that gives me without getting into the book versus just being okay. Woo, listen. That double air with the listen with that double air absolutely. And it might you might be on this journey of really being able to be okay with how you feel and being okay with being vulnerable. Ooh. Oh my goodness, vulnerability. Absolutely. Okay. Okay. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here we go. The private self. This is the breakdown. All right. And if you need help unpacking that, book a call. Book a call. Book a call. And I only say that because I can attest. I had to be vulnerable as an air sign, and it wasn't as difficult as I made it. After it was all said and done, it was like, okay, I did that. I did that. Here we go. This is the breakdown again for those that are coming in the room. When we're talking about astrology, we're using it as a personal development. Okay. If you can imagine yourself as a house with your various astrology parts represented by all the rooms typically found in a house, you might imagine your ascendant as the front door and foyer, and maybe your sun would be the living room or family room. Perhaps Mercury would be your home office and Venus, the porch swing or the love seat or wherever you might enjoy socializing in a typical home. The moon, however, would be your bedroom or maybe even your bedroom closet. Ooh. No matter how outgoing we consider ourselves to be, our moon represents the innermost parts of us. It is our private selves. Come on, somebody. Listen, this is important. This is important because you have to know who you are. You have to know what you can handle, what you can't handle, so you're just not going through life and just taking what you just getting what you can get. That's not how this works. That's not how it can work, okay? Thank you for the gift. I appreciate you. Okay. No matter how outgoing we consider ourselves to be, our moon represents the inner parts of us. It is our private selves. It is inherently a vulnerable spot of which we are protective. This is what I love. She also said this. We could even call it, I love this. We could even call the moon our inner child. We only tend to reveal this part of ourselves to the people we trust, just like we might not bring everybody we know into our bedroom. Woo! Listen, we say that someone wears their heart on their sleeve, but the moon is more than just demonstrations of emotion. It represents the inner self, and everyone has a way to protect the inner self, even if they seem to be very outgoing or revealing. All right, so that's the private self. The moon represents your inner being. All right, let's get into the moon in love. The moon role in love can be argued to be the most important, for the moon represents what we need to feel taken care of, loved, nurtured, and safe. It's important to like who we love, but to love and be loved runs deeper than personality. It goes to our very core. Hey, 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 Lotus, Aqua Divine. Y'all hearing this? Some people just get in relationships to be in relationships, but your core needs are not being met. And you hold on to relationships that will never align with who you are to your core, only for the sake of having somebody. Oh, no worries. No worries. So your moon allows you to see who you are and what your emotional needs are to your core. Listen, come on. I'm excited for you. I'm excited for you, Wicked V. Wicked. Wicked. I say five because I saw the five. I saw the V in the five. Maybe there's a number of grace. Come on your life. All right. Just set record for this reason, for sure. I'm going to run that back. Moon's role in love can be argued to be the most important, for the moon represents what we need to feel taken care of, loved, nurtured, and safe. It's important to like who we love, but to love and be loved runs deeper than personality. It goes to our very core. I'm gonna read this paragraph because this is not something I highlighted, but this, when she was talking about this made so much sense. It has become increasingly accepted that people don't necessarily show or perceive love in exactly the same way. We each have sort of a filter, a particular way we want to have love expressed to us. Woo! Listen, there's a certain way that love has to show up for you to fully embrace it. And if your people don't know this, then they are legit shooting darts in the dark, trying to give you love that innately is not really landing. Unless you have this awareness, oh, they're just trying to show me love. If you don't have that as awareness, It could leave you feeling empty and void because you're the core of who you are. Your needs are not getting met. Woo. I'm gonna run this back again. We each have a sort of a filter, a particular way we want to have love expressed to us. While there are universal truths that are a part of human experience, one person's loving words to another may fall on deaf ears, or another person's willingness to help the person they love may be refused or ignored. Woo. This doesn't necessarily happen because two people don't love each other, but because to love and to properly communicate or demonstrate that love are two different things. Woo. Oh my goodness, this sounds like scripture reading to me. Let's say that again. While there are universal truths that are part of the human experience, one person's loving words to another may fall on deaf ears, or another person's willingness to help the person they love may be refused or ignored. This doesn't necessarily happen because two people don't love each other, but because to love and to properly communicate or demonstrate that love are two different things. But then again, Pete, we have not been taught how do I receive love without judging how I receive love. Have I accepted how I receive love? Whew. Okay, fam. Okay. And we are reading from Astrology of the Moon. Okay. Okay, so let's we're still in this love space. Similarly, the sign, house, and aspects of your moon will describe the ways that you prefer to have love expressed to you and how you prefer to offer it. Come on. We're talking about your moon sign and how to use this to express love and receive love. So similarly, the sign and the house, the aspects of your moon will describe the ways you prefer to have love expressed to you and how you prefer to offer it. Okay, I'm here to validate those people that have not really tapped into how you feel. Be okay with how you feel, but in this space, learn from it, grow from it, because your feelings are here to teach you something. Are you learning from what you're feeling, or are you just pushing it down and pretending like they're not there, only to realize that you are walking through the same situation over and over and over again? Let's read this next. Oh, I'm over my time. I'm sorry. I didn't got caught up. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry if I'm taking too much time. I'm gonna read this and we'll pick this up on tomorrow. It is the moon, the heart, that knows that the perfect partner cannot be determined through analysis, but through moon work, nurturing each other, building trust with each other, and revealing yourselves to each other. Ooh. Trust happens when our moon, our inner child, feels safe to come out, and trust is the basis of relationship. Therefore, exploring and trusting the needs of your heart, as represented by the astrological moon, is a key to relationship work and success. All right, fam. What was your takeaway from today? What was your takeaway from today? Because I know I said a lot, but whew, this right here lights me up, god dog it. It lights me up because it gives people an opportunity to see what Danelle said this earlier, to see the unseen. So what's your takeaway, fam, for those that want to share? What hit home for you? What resonated for you? And thank y'all for those that came in, liking the live and sharing. This is the conversation that I'm ready to have, for the sake of offering people the opportunity to heal. Tomorrow we're going to discuss the moon sign as it relates to your mother or your guardian. Good stuff. You can't make this stuff up. I was reading my stuff yesterday and I was like, this right here is insane. Slash, having a sense of gratitude for being able to see. So, I appreciate each and every one of you. For those that are in the room, thank you for this chat. We'll be back tomorrow to have this conversation. I love that. Thank you for sharing. The love I seek is not the same as the love another seek. Everyone loves differently. Absolutely. Absolutely. And being able to give that person. Because here's the thing, you can either know how to give it or you don't. Right? And it's okay to say, you know what? That's not really my personality. I release your love to find somebody that can give it to you. Or you can have the desire to say, you know what? That's not something that I'm accustomed to doing, but I'm willing to give you that love that you are desiring. Right? And that's what this is about. Knowing you enough that you know what works for you and what doesn't. That part. My pleasure. My pleasure. All right, fam. You guys have the most amazing day. And I want to sing our song to you for those that are in the room. Here we go. Just in case you haven't heard it in a while. Hey. And just in case you really need to know. Yeah. Just in case you haven't heard it in a while. Just in case you really need to know. Oh, I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. Hey, I love you. I love you. I love you back. All right, have the most amazing day, fam. We'll see if we hop back in later just to have some more conversation or do some readings and stuff like that. So I love y'all. Y'all take care. Oh.